and I'll start with a little bit of background on myself. Like I said, my name is Rosel Rodriquez. I did suffer through a lot of extreme bullying, and by bullying I don't mean people called me names. I'm talking about gang members decided to initiate me for free, and I didn't ask for it. So I went to the hospital several times with severe brain injuries, and then I joined the military. And living a life of violence, I decided that I was kind of done with it. Tired of getting up every day and fighting, so I chose to go communications route. So I spent 2 deployments in Iraq from 2004, 5, and then 5 to 6. Came back, severe PTSD from what VA was telling me. And my wife, being the rock she is, she served also with me in 2004, decided that she was going to go to art school to become a professional photographer. And I said, you know, have fun with that. That's, you know, I don't want to be, I don't know if you are familiar with the movie Billy Madison. It's Adam Sandler, and he goes to school and everybody's a kid. That's how I felt when I walked into the Art Institute. You know, I don't go there anymore, but I walked in there and I was like, geez, this is going to be horrible. Because not only was I bitter, angry, anxious, everything that could engulf a person in PTSD, I also would lash out at people for small things. Something that's insignificant, nothing that would really incite you. You know, a normal person would go, yeah, you're a douchebag. And I would go straight throttle on them and just like, you know, what is your problem? You know, from bullying to anti-American statements, you know, being a veteran that's, you know, close and near and dear to me still, but now I don't go as aggressively toward it. But that being said, they asked me for me to have a portfolio ready. And I was like, what is a portfolio? Well, they wanted me to draw a bunch of stuff. And I was like, how about you just take my word for it? They're like, no, do the portfolio. So I went home, and I was already having a bad day because I was at the school amongst people that I've already set off all my triggers. I was, you know, pretty much being the monster that I imagined myself to be. And I noticed when I was drawing that my breathing started to get under control. I was a little bit more focused. And it was 5 drawings. All of them had to be photorealistic. I don't know if you're familiar with photorealistic drawing. It's very specific. You have to be detail oriented, and it's not drawing what you know, it's drawing what you see. And so I did all these drawings, and then afterwards I just felt like a great big burden had been lifted off my shoulders. You know, me being me, I just blew it off and then submitted my portfolio, and as I started getting assignments, as long as they weren't algebra, I was like getting better. You know, I was like, oh well, maybe there is something to this. Well, 2 years into that, Wounded Warrior Project found me and took me in, got me certified as a peer mentor and a peer facilitator. Then I started learning key terms like refocusing tool, how to identify different points of whether somebody is suffering, or, you know, picking up on small, subtle things that they train you to pick up on whenever you're talking to another person that's been through a traumatic experience. And then I noticed that this, if you can start passing this around, and don't worry about it, it's not that important, is I started noticing that my artwork was controlling my triggers and controlling my breathing, and it was therapeutic. And I was like, I've invented the wheel. I was like, I got this is going to be awesome, I'm going to share it with the world. Coming to find out, everybody's doing it. I was like, oh no. Then I found comic conventions, and I loved comics so much. And I noticed that everybody out there was just trying to peddle their wares, go through the motions. But I noticed there was a lot of active military people and prior service out there too. And I was like, you know, what better outlet to reach out and find that one person that might be in that moment of their life and just let them know you're not there by yourself, and I'm here. You know, I'm 100% invested in this. I do sell my artwork here, but it's not in the capacity of where these ladies and gentlemen down there sell it and really make money. Like, my wife has to come with me and hold my hand because I can't make money with my art. She makes money selling boutique items, and she's better than me, so we'll leave it at that. Anyways, so if you guys have any specific questions, I consider this more of a Q&A panel, as is, you know, ask me anything you want. The floor is open pretty much to y'all. I mean, I could show you different methods, and also I did bring sketchbooks, hopefully for everybody, and if I didn't, My table is B69. I have more down there. I didn't really expect this many people. The last time I did this, it was like 3 people, and you know, everybody. It's a touchy subject, so I don't hold it against anybody not wanting to come in here and put themselves out there like that. And so, any questions? Yes, sir.
Do you find that any particular style is more therapeutic, or?
Okay, it's a very good question. I find that anything that is extremely detail-oriented, like photorealistic, or I don't know if you're familiar with the old woodcut styles like Albert Dürer and Guptill and Franklin Booth. They used to mimic woodcuts. They thought it was an actual drawing method, but it was actually a woodcut design that was mass-produced, but they were so amazing that it would sit there and make every little niche. And I find that that's the quickest way if I'm an anxiety attack. If I have to focus on making those small tick marks or making sure the eyeball looks like an eyeball, might not work as fast for you, but it was really quick for me, like to get my thoughts to stop racing, to get my breathing to stop hurting so much. I don't know if you've ever been in an anxiety attack where it really just hurt to breathe. Like, I see a lot of north to south. Yeah, it was. I mean, I wish I could say I could hand you this book and it's going to work for you, but if it doesn't work for you, I'd rather you have this tool in your toolkit and be able to reach out and, you know, find maybe that one moment in time where it does work for you. You have a question?
Yeah, with the artwork, you have to make decisions about what what am I going to draw? How is it going to look? How does that relate with PTSD? Is there a decision-making process with PTSD?
In the beginning, there wasn't so much of as a decision-making process. It was more of me drawing what I felt like drawing and pouring my time into. And as an artist and as an individual, you're going to grow through your injuries and whatever. I found comic art, one, gave me an outlet to pay for these conventions because you have to pay to come here. It isn't for free unless you're like Apple, the guy that hosted this event. He gave me the table for free. He's an amazing dude. If you see him, high five him. He's awesome. I found that comic art was what's going to turn me over more, to get paid, so I could go to the next event. Could you repeat the question one more time? The style, style, layout, and how. I don't find that anything particularly work. I know that works best for me getting to shows. Now, as far as personally, growing through my injury and everything, and my experiences, I found that whenever I was having a hard time, I was having an anxiety attack, or something reminded me a trigger happened, and the scatterbrain, I call it the scatterbrain move, is just to start whipping out objects that are on the paper, whether it be circles, whether it be individuals, doing an action, and then later to come back to it. Now this is now. Back in the day, like I said, I used to just draw, just start getting into it, get out of that mindset. I didn't want anybody around me because I was aggressive. I didn't want anybody around me suffering because I just could not control my emotion. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Can you explain the toolbox for those that don't know what it is?
A toolbox, as far as PTSD is like from a service dog to the sketchbook. It's anything that you have in your capacity to help you through your experience, as far as traumatic experiences. It could be, I have a guy that I just talked to today. He collects Transformers and he repairs them. I thought that was amazing. I was like, dude, that is dope. I love Transformers. He's gonna bring me some tomorrow to look at. I was like, sweet. And he was an military person. And I say ex-military. If you are a civilian, I'm not trying to single you out. It's just once you're in that state of mind for life. If you do have anything, don't feel like you don't have to mention it. It's nothing personal. And the toolbox is, this alone didn't save my life. It did not. My toolbox was my camaraderie with the people that I met through WWP and through just going through life. I mean, it's something that if you really want it, if you really, really want to work through, because there's no normal that I have found yet. You may find a normal, But I found out the new normal is the best way to adjust. Because as extreme as some of our experiences are, there's no way we can let go of those experiences and not have that survivor's guilt. It just, I mean, it sounds negative, but new normal is good. New normal is what you built with your toolkit to help you adjust. And I think the best analogy I've ever heard for individuals suffering from PTSD, sexual trauma, or brain injuries was they are sick people playing healthy.
Listen to your woman, but not closely.